like some teams will have like known for like lightweights, and then GF team is known as a heavyweight team. You don't see there are some lightweights, but not a whole bunch like that. Like there's a strong core of their
Rodolfo.
Their team, yeah, exactly.
I think he's the only one that survive when you have Rodolfo in his academy. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Rodolfo is a phenomenon as well. Now he moved on to the career in MMA. He's doing a great job.
He just won his debut match a couple months ago.
Yeah. I would rather have him here, you know. I would like to see him fight.
Yeah,
here.
man, he's just a fun guy to watch. Such a nice guy too. Isn't that great when you have like a guy that is great and actually keeps that humility, right? Doesn't go for his head.
He's so humble.
Such a nice guy. Nice.
That's
Muhammad with the shot.
Oh,
that was two.
That's a
chased him across the mats there. I was expecting a sprawl there from Evangelista, but I think he just wanted to be in that closed guard, and the way that the rules are set, it doesn't make that big of a difference. I think Evangelista should be able to pull off a sweep off his closed guard, and he was willing to take the risk.
If I'm not wrong, Muhammad Kerimov, he tapped Dean Lister on the Berkut Jiu-Jitsu in Moscow.
Oh wow! How?
From the half guard, squeezing pressure on the shoulder.
So in other words, don't let him get to half guard.
Don't let him grab you. Don't let him give you a hug. That was crazy because Dean Lister is hard, and he tapped.
Like I think the first time he tapped was to Josh Barnett in the Metamoris, and then
that was impressive as well.
Yeah, I mean Josh was a beast, but
have you ever tried to rush Josh?
No. I trained with Dean a bunch, but never with Josh. See if Muhammad is going to actually, what his strategy is. He knows he's winning. There won't be any penalties per se for stalling, but the referee can stop the match and reset it. And I think from Muhammad's perspective, this works really well in his favor. He has no problem standing up with Evangelista. Evangelista is probably going to pull guard again, but he's really going to have to turn it on Muhammad.
Oh, Evangelista needs to be careful of this exchange standing with Muhammad because he's really good in the takedowns.
Man, it's not easy to move those heavyweights. Evangelista with the guard pull again. He knows he's behind. Nice, a beautiful sweep by Evangelista. No points yet. Let's see if he's going to go to the back.
That's a good,
beautiful transition.
Amazing. Wow.
I love that sweep.
Wow. He has a choke. Has a choke. Has a choke. He's had the choke.
Over the top, bow and arrow.
Oh, he needs to get the points. He needs to get the points. He needs to get the points. The arms is dangerous. Oh my God.
I'd be surprised if Muhammad can recovers, man. What a beast.
What exchange. Now we're talking.
Yeah, but you know what? Man, I hope I wish Evangelista could just kind of stick to that back attack. He was so close. I feel like he went for the arm a little too soon.
First round, 50 seconds to go. 2-0. Muhammad.
How do you move Muhammad there, Braulio? Give me some answers.
I try to bribe him. What else can you do?
Just say something really nice to him and try to get him to like you. Yeah, like, you know, that position is like, it's a tough one. Like, everyone teaches that wrist lock from there, but like, I know guys that you go against them and they pin your armpits there with that lapel, and there aren't a whole bunch of great answers there.
Ricardo Evangelista, he's extremely strong fighter, and you can see how strong Muhammad is to be able to deal that.
Nice single X there.
Good position for Ricardo.
You see Muhammad just pulling himself in, try to pull that leg back. Ricardo with the sweep, no points yet.
What? Is that a point?
Very end. Beautiful, score is even.
That could be a different change, huh? Look.
Look at Muhammad, does not seem too happy. Messed up his strategy. I wonder if he feels that the referee should have not scored those points. Those definitely points.
How do you think he won this round?
That was so it's 1 round each, right? Muhammad won the first with the takedown, and Evangelista with the sweep at the very, very end.
Now this is the first round, no?
No, that was
Hold on a second. It was too active this for the heavyweight. That's why. 1 sec. That was a takedown. The jump guard.
that was
Almost a sweep.
it. You can see him try there. He does it again.
Yeah, he's so strong.
He was a killer at that sweep as Gustavo Dantas, man. I remember like back in the he'd hit that on everyone. I think a lot of times with a big guy like that, the best strategy is to set up your sweep as you pull guard, not try to set it up once they're in your close guard. Second round now. I think Evangelista with more attempts the first.
It was the first round. It was happening too many things on that fight. So it was. I mean, Evangelista, I think he got back that round, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Muhammad with the takedown, but Evangelista with the sweep. But he had more attempts, so. You know, if I'm the judge, that's what I'm going to be looking at. You know, it's not quite an advantage, but you see the guy who's trying the most will be the one I'd be giving the win to.
I just got some information from Abraham Martin. Just sending me a message in the. It's Bob Sponja. It's the coach from Alexander Trans that used to live in Paraíba.
I know Bobby Sponja well.
And
We used to be
he
training
went to-
partners in São Paulo.
Exactly.
I know Bobby Sponja really well.
Really
SpongeBob.
good.
SpongeBob.
Really good coach.
And believe it or not, he does look like SpongeBob. If you believe that's even possible, he does.
So I would like to take advantage to send a big hug to Abraham Martin. You know, the Cavacas.
Also known as Cavacas' twin brother, long-lost twin brother.
Valeu, Abraham. Miss you guys. Thank you.
Man, I am not surprised. Yeah, I was just gonna say, the referee's got to stand him back up. Like, have you refereed ever?
I have, but I hate it.
I hate it because you make a lot of enemies. People hate
Exactly.
you. Yeah. I'm the kind of guy. I'd rather have everyone be my friend. You get everyone to hate me.
Me too. Especially because, you know, you're not gonna how to say, you're gonna make
good
someone
shot by
upset.
Muhammad. Man, beautiful.
Good sweep. Good sweep. Take down by
Just
Muhammad.
brutal, man. Just straight up head first shot.
By being a referee, you're gonna make someone upset for sure. And
You
on
know
the
what?
hit of
you can't
the
make mistakes. Look, people listening, don't give referees a hard time, man. It's not an easy job. It looks easy, but it's not. If you referee before, it's not fun. One thing whenever I refereed, I had no problem stopping a match and standing them back up if I don't feel they're active, or just penalizing people for lack of action. You know, I'm one of those guys, like, if you're not trying to do something, what are you doing here, right? If you're on bottom, you should be trying to finish, sweep, stand back up. If you're on top, you're not trying to finish or pass, then, you know, it kind of defeats the purpose of even being in here. With that being said, it's not always easy to, you know, when you're tired, you're going against someone that's not moving a lot, it can be difficult. Yeah, a lot of stalling by Muhammad here at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if the referee stood him back up, but Muhammad wants that. Because just staring Evangelista in the eyes, saying, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, now, Ricardo has a very strong guard, you know, and I believe myself, for you to open up a deal with a very good close guard, you cannot deal on your knees. You have to stand up.
I tell people this, like, did you open guard on your knees at all? I don't.
No, ever.
Ever.
No.
Like,
Do you know why?
That never works.
Do you know why?
You got long legs.
No, because I like to always compare how I would feel with the opposite side. And if someone tried to open up the guard from the knees on me,
I don't.
never gonna open.
Yeah, I'm not even worried. Yeah,
nobody never gonna open.
Yeah.
So that's one also a very good way of trying to explore your jiu-jitsu. Is always try to feel on the other side of the coin. You know, sometimes there's a new technique.
You know, one way I like to train is, what would I do to beat myself? I ask myself that question all the time. If I were to compete against myself,
exactly,
what would I do? And then you know what your flaws are. And they're normally the things you hate. We normally tend to lean towards the things we're good at, right? Everyone likes to train the things they win at. No one wants to train the things they suck at. But a good disciplined competitor would put his emphasis and his energy into the things that he's not good at, because you got to think like your opponent.
Of course, exactly. And one thing that I like to also to develop and understand the technique is always when there's a technique that I feel bad against someone's making me uncomfortable, right? I picture that position and see where he is. Hold on a second. When I'm on his position next time, I will try to do the same that he's doing to me, because I'm feeling uncomfortable. So if I'm feeling uncomfortable, when I do the same to someone else, then someone else will feel uncomfortable. And therefore I start building the branches of exploring.
You're
exactly.
learning. You're learning by losing.
Robert, that's the end of the second round. Ricardo lost that one. 2 points.
That guy right there is Mehmed Khalidov, that guy in the checkered shirt. That's one of the toughest 85ers on the planet. That guy could easily be in the UFC. He chooses not to. He'd rather fight for KSW and ACB.
And that's why.
That's an awesome. Like, it's just a great thing that the sport has competition.
That's why, from as soon as I finish this broadcast, I'm gonna become his best friend. I want to be his friend forever.
He actually trains at a gym that's an affiliate school of ours, and I've been there a couple times. Like, his friends and coaches have been in my gym many times, and we just never happen to train each other. But his friends just rave about him, how good his stand-up and how well-rounded of an MMA fighter he is. That guy right there in the red and white checker shirt.
And Zaubek, your twin on his left.
Bro, you're killing me, bro.
I'm on the right there, look, with the white t-shirt.
Oh man, the beard though. I got to work on that beard. I'm not even close to those guys.
You look, it suits
I'm like
you,
a year behind.
No, but it suits you.
I'm working on it. You know, I got a baby face. So I got to do something about it.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, dude. If I shave, I look like you think I'm like 18.
I wouldn't go that far.
Dude, I start finding all these wrinkles.
Like, wrinkles? I'm trying to search for Botox. They said, listen, we don't do this kind of thing.
I don't want to. I'm too embarrassed to walk into a clinic and like, do you do Botox for dudes? I'm not willing to go that far, no.
If I do Botox, people won't recognize me.
The thing is that they know you did it. You know, you're gonna immediately, recognize it.
We are going about a topic very important about exploring your own jiu-jitsu. You know, it's very important to put yourself in different situations, and because in the mats, when you train jiu-jitsu in your academy, that is the place that you're always going to have a second chance. You know, if you always have the opportunity to have a second chance, why not explore and open up your branches?
You know the hardest things in jiu-jitsu is that we want to win in training.
Exactly.
And I tell look, I tell my students this every day. It's ego.
But everyone has ego.
I have an ego. I don't want to lose. You know what I do? This is what I'm going to do with you, bro. Next time we train, I'm going to try something new.
Exactly.
And then it doesn't work. You're going to kick my butt. You know what my ego does? It immediately switches me back to my A game.
A game.
And then, like, you learn less. Not that you don't learn with your A game. You do learn, but you learn slower. That's why the white belt picks up to the purple belt faster than the purple belt picks up with, you know, the evolution of the purple belt is to in proportion to the white belt. The white belt always learns faster because he's losing all the time. Oh, man, look at that. You do that sweep too, don't you,
there's
Ron?
a triangle over there. Yeah, I really look.
You reach for that far leg and you cut that corner like that.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite. I learned that from Gustavo Siri. He did that.
So let me ask you a question in that position. If, you know, I'm not sure that everyone listening, that's the one right there.
I would take the back from that.
What do you like? Evangelista is holding on to the sleeve. What do you hold on to when you hit that arm bar from the bottom? You hold on to the elbow?
My right hand would be on the leg, right? And on the right would be above the neck and under his armpits. Like
so all the way over. You weave it over.
Weave it over so I can bring my hips on top of the neck.
I was holding the armpit, but the head pops up. They got too much posture.
See, that's why I hold the head. I hold the head with my armpit with my forearm and then weave it around the
Brother, this
shoulder.
is why we got to hang out more, man. I'm learning stuff from you on the left and right because I hit that sweep. But about 2/3 of the time I go for that sweep, they posture up because I'm holding the armpit.
Exactly.
So you got to weave your arm
on the head,
over the head and underneath the forearm.
Because if you think about, I have this concept that I talk a lot on my seminars about, like, the head of the snake. The snake will always, the body of the snake will always go wherever the head is looking at. That's why on the arm wrestling competitions, whoever wins the wrist, the body follows. There is no winner that with
I make the analogy of the body being an arrow. And the arrow being, you know, the body of the arrow always follows the arrow. So, like, the manipulation of the head is such a huge part of jiu-jitsu. In wrestling, they understand that.
Because they do all the time.
All the time. In jiu-jitsu, I think we're still figuring out ways of manipulating the head to break posture and put your opponent out of position. I do one from side control. Oh, nice sweep from Ricardo. Beautiful. Hold him down. Good job, Muhammad, standing back up. I hate when people do that.
So, basically, if I like to say, if that is a problem, okay, that problem became a problem because there was a first step that led to the second, to the third, to lead to the big problem. And I like to think that if that first step never happened, the problem would never exist.
You know what I call that? No man's land.
Exactly.
Like in World War I, you don't lose. If you lost the first trench, the second trench went down easier. The third trench even easier. So no man's land is where they fought the battle. That was like the gross of the battle.
Exactly.
And if you lose that first battle, it's not that you're done, but it becomes a lot harder to recover.
Exactly.
So when I teach some people ask me, Rob, how do I get out of this rear naked choke? Or how do I get out of this heel hook? I'm like, man, like, I don't have great answers. You know, like, I can tell you what you can do to prevent your opponent from making it that far. Like, that would be a more, but people don't like that answer. That's the funny thing. They hate that answer. Like the prevention, right? Like, no one wants to deal with that. But it really is the most efficient antidote to any submission or any position, really.
And then, like, when you talk about the head, right? If the posture was the final problem that stopped you going to his back, and the posture only gonna become posture because the head goes up. If the head never went up, the posture would never be there, so you would take the back in hand.
You never have the problem to begin with.
Exactly. So that's how I do a little bit of a reverse engineering.
I like the way you're thinking. Muhammad, again, in that close guard, man, he is not in a hurry, is he? Like, this is...
I think he felt the danger of Ricardo, and he understands his limitations, and he's playing the game, you know, and try to make the game go up so he can get the takedowns. He's doing the smart. He's being smart.
You know, like, you got to give it to competitors, man. Like, it's an art to master winning by knowing how to use the rules in your favor. It's not. It's just something a lot of people frown upon, but like there's skill to it too. You got to keep that in mind. It's not what I teach. It's not what I recommend people do. But there's something tactical about it. I'm sure most people we all prefer to see action. Good wrestling defense there by Muhammad.
Bora, Ricardo, 30 segundos, pô. Vai, tá assim.
sweep by Evangelista. He can't. Didn't hold him down.
Can he hold?
Yeah, twice now. That's 2. The ref gave it. Then Muhammad won't be happy about that. Jumping on the back there at the end. I think that might have tipped the fight in favor of Evangelista. Certainly more aggressive. Let's see. I wonder if the judges will take that into consideration. Well, they should.
That was a very close match. Evangelista did a very good work on the guard. You know, that bump on the sweep on that big guy. It was a big one.
Yeah, that first one he went to the back and then
that
almost got
close.
the arm.
You know, he actually managed to invert a couple times. I'm impressed. Because Muhammad is strong. He's strong.
You can see he's a good wrestler.
Move.
Like when Evangelista shot in, like he just shut Evangelista off like nothing, man. And he just got those 2 of those doubles. I really thought that Evangelista.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a winner, and your winner is